Get in, nerds. We are playing Victoria 3. We are still working on our government expansion, but it has been going pretty well. And we have the capacity to really dramatically increase our iron output by 312, which is quite good. So I think that means we're going for another expansion of the construction sector. Let's see, we'll go for 2 in Tohoku, 2 in Kyushu, and then we'll do 2 more in Kansai, our capital. And that should get us what we need, and then once those are done, we'll go ahead and build up our... We'll switch over the production methods for those iron mines, and hopefully they will continue to be productive with the increase in price of explosives that will come with putting a bunch of iron mines in an explosives method. No, excellent. The intelligentsia are marginalized once again. That is wild. 25%. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Dang. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of Tenant Farmers have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares with other organizations exactly as does the machine with the non-mechanical modes of production. I can say, damn this labyrinthine legal system. That gives us 10% reduced enactment chance and 10% increased enactment time. A very bad result. Or I can say, cut through at least some of the red tape. This makes bureaucrats and Kansai radical, but it doesn't reduce enactment chance. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. It is going to cost us some bureaucracy, but we've got so much in the pot that I don't even need it. We'll go ahead and flip the iron mines over now. Again, that has made them very... that has cost them some productivity, but it's necessary. Our chemical plants are producing just about as much explosives as they're capable of producing right now. The only way I could get more out of them is by going to dynamite, and I can't do that because I've got a bunch of tier 2 techs to finish out first. Speaking of which, we got a lot of tier 2 techs in society to deal with. We're going to need pharmaceuticals. We're going to need dialectics. That's going to be really important. We're going to need pharmaceuticals. We're going to need central banking. And then I think we might do some military stuff. We're currently working on triage, and we've got shellguns spreading to us. Actually, we'll probably leave military for the time being. So that, as you can see, that's decreased our surplus pretty significantly, but we're constructing buildings at an even higher rate now, and the private sector is doing the same. The investment pool is still continuing to grow in size, but not very much every week, so that's okay with me. And as you can see, we're building up a large number of buildings in Kyushu of government administrations. We're slowly making headway with our... Oop, one more construction sector. Missed that one. We're slowly making headway with our project of improving the overall situation. We're continuing to work on Tenant Farmers. I know I keep saying I'm going to go after Cambodia, but I'm feeling actually pretty conservative about my current situation. I've gotten to a pretty good place overall. And in fact, I think the thing I might queue up next is more naval bases. Because I sure would like to have a stronger navy. It would be nice to get power of the purse, actually. Because the thing I've got spreading to me is shellgun, and it's not spreading very fast. Our tech spread is ridiculously low because, number 1, we're unrecognized. Number 2, we have isolationism. And number 3, we have censorship. We are getting a little bit from unspent innovation, and that's going to increase when we go to dialectics, but it's still not going to be much. So I'm, you know, it's a whole deal. Dissenters break ranks. Oh boy. A tough one. To outside observers, the Shogunate may appear firmly committed to the idea of tenant farmers, but behind this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now a clique of dissenters has finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of the reform. How long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, and our desires left unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. So, splitters may the devil take them. This reduces enactment chance by 15%. Loosen our purse strings, perhaps we can lure some of them back. This reduces it by only 10%, but gives us $5,600 in government expenses. Or, offer them custodianship over a new draft. This gets us a setback. Which, let me see, what do we got built up right now? We're at our break point. We're at our break point right now. You see, 5% success chance is not that much. We're pretty far into this. I think taking the money loss is going to be better for us in the long term, so I'm going to do it. And that is going to reduce success chance to 15%, but we're going to have a lot more checks on this before we hit this again. And like, if we hit a setback, that'll reset us back to 25%. So I'm actually pretty confident about this. The strength of the Industrialists is increasing as this bolster really goes into effect. So I am at core pretty optimistic about the whole situation. How are prices in the market? We haven't been increasing the size of our wood industry very much. How's hardwood? Hardwood is very affordable. Hardwood is very affordable because only shipyards are really using it, and shipyards are probably not operating very strongly at all. Only the military shipyards are using it? No, they're all using arms industries. Arms industries are what uses hardwood. Well, I don't have to look there. I can check in here. Oh, arms industries and furniture manufacturers. Yeah, well, that makes sense. Oh, interesting. The Industrialists are now headed up by a Republican. Whew, that's not... Don't know how happy I am about that. But they're still happy with me, so... that should be good. So... as you can see, I haven't enabled any of my automation methods. Japan is wall-to-wall, floor-to-ceiling labor, just stacked up like firewood. So I don't feel any need to focus on reducing the amount of labor being used in the country right now at this stage. Hopefully this is genuinely increasing the size of the efficiency of the government as well as just increasing the size. Let's see, paper prices are still very manageable due to us having recently increased the production method of the labor of the... Ooh, excellent, we got a success of the paper mills. So I'm hoping that trend continues. So... there we go. Religion, autocracy, nationality. The state policy of religion, autocracy, and nationality has become the ubiquitous ideology of the Japanese people. There are few who dare to question the absolute authority of the shogun. In a state where love for shoguns and devotion to the throne are based on the native characteristics of the people, where there are laws of the fatherland and firmness in administration, all efforts of the evil intentioned will be vain and insane. All hail the shogun. This gets Masataka Togawa plus 50 popularity, and the shogunate gets 10% increased interest group political strength. I'm not going to do that. The Buddhist monks show us the way. This gives us 20% conversion, and 60% of clergyman pops become more loyalist. The extra loyalists would be nice, but that's not necessarily going to be useful to me to have that conversion rate. The Japanese people are supreme. 5% of Japanese pops in the shogunate become more loyalist. and we get 20% increased assimilation for 19 years. That's bananas strong. I'm going for it. So hopefully this will give us a huge jump in loyalists. Hoping to see it in a second. Well, okay, I guess it was a modest jump in loyalists, but it has improved the happiness of the Shogunate significantly, so that they're only at 0 now instead of at -1, and that makes me very happy because I really, really don't want to have to contend with a movement against tenant farmers. The expansion of the government sectors continues to work. We're working on the ones in Kyushu right now. Oh, we already did the ones in Chugoku. So Chugoku's actually got plenty of taxation capacity left. What about Kyushu? We still got I think 5 in production, and that's about the number. 6 in construction. Let me see. We're at 484 out of 530, so we need about 50 more. So I think actually I'm going to reduce the number I'm producing here by 1 level. Siam is improving relations. That's very good. And there's movement for homesteading. I really hope that doesn't complicate things, because I am doing tenant farmers already, and I really hope none of these folks jump ship to the homesteading movement, because that would make me real mad. That would make me big mad. Interestingly, so now you can see that because the Industrialists are Republicans and the Shogunate are pacifists, we're down from 71 legitimacy to 57. It doesn't actually put us in a different category, but you can see it's significantly lower. Come on, give me tenant farmers. Give me those tenant farmers. Tasty, tasty tenant farmers. Oh, yeah. No? No? No tenant farmers? Not yet? We'll see. We'll see. Backroom dealings exposed. Install. Gosh. Okay. Prominent members of the Shogunate, outspoken supporters of tenant farmers, and close allies of Takachika Mori have been exposed in a political scandal, a corruption scandal, having exchanged political favors for personal gifts. What is the chief end of man? To get rich. In what way? Dishonestly if we can, honestly if we must. So, such is the nature of politics. This gives us minus 15%, and makes Takachika Mori minus 50 popularity. Ooh, that's an interesting proposition. Throw them to the wolves. We must clean up this mess. This costs us some bureaucracy, or we can derive some benefit from participating ourselves. This gives us 1 setback. I might go ahead and do this, because we'll reset once we hit once we get a setback. We'll reset and go back up to 25. And weakening Mori would reduce the power of the Shogunate. So I'm going to go ahead and do this first one, and we'll see how things go. That will get us a setback event, which should happen very shortly, but we'll see how that works. We've got the movement, and we've got the Industrialists, they seem to have leveled out in clout. So we'll see how that affects things. But yeah. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9. Got 9 levels of government admin ready to be added in Toku. Yeah, that's going to be about the number we'll need. We play music? No? Let's play some music. Oh, you know what? I forgot to start improving relations with my new vassal. I should get working on that so that I can not have bad relations with them. Once this gets finished, I think we'll go after Cambodia. I think that's my plan. I think once we finish Tenant Farmers, once Tenant Farmers gets its situation, you gonna have your setback, or are you just gonna keep having debate events? Market's looking pretty solid right now. wood output is increasing to match with the needs of the growing economy, so that is good. I might go ahead and pop a few logging camps into production, into construction. Oh my goodness. Yeah, let's max out the ones in Shikoku. That should give us some breathing room and reduce the price of wood for the government. Increase those. And also, we need one additional level of railways in Kanto. I know I've got 2 queued up, but those are going to be eaten up by my my expansion of the government sector, and also it's they're not for a while now. Okay, I guess we're not in setback territory yet. Public address goes awry. Alright. What was meant as a routine speech about the merits of tenant farmers by Takachika Mori has quickly devolved into a public relations disaster for the Shogunate. Fumbling his way through a series of poorly presented talking points, Takachika Mori's arguments have been viciously and convincingly picked apart by his political opponents. The question on everybody's lips now is merely if this mishap was due to the inherent failings of tenant farmers, or can be chalked down to the political incompetence of the Shogunate. It is the fault of this poorly thought-through proposal. Takachika Mori must take the blame for this setback. This reduces his popularity and makes the Shogunate weaker, or scrap the current draft and make a show of a rewrite. I'm not going to do this because we're way below our base level, so I'm going to once again weaken Takachika Mori. And that should continue to make the Shogunate weaker, even if only by a little bit. This guy's popularity is down to 5, so we should now get our reset event. He's got a lot of base popularity, which is interesting. Again, I'm weakening him kind of in order to improve the position of my overall scheme, which is I do want to weaken the Shogunate by a little bit, because particularly when we're getting rid of serfdom, like going to homesteading is probably going to be later on in the docket. We might not necessarily do it at all, but it is something that I do want to be able to do. And also, reducing the power of the Shogunate will give us all sorts of benefits in the long run. Legislative failures. Here's the setback event. Despite many efforts on the part of the government to successfully revive tenant farmers from its present imbroglio, the law has become regarded as nothing but an inevitable failure. The sponsor a complete... you've seen this before. That bill? Please don't talk to me about it. I would say it's better to just pretend it never happened, don't you agree? Certainly, but that won't stop that fool from asking about it every day. You must sponsor a complete rewrite of the bill. So this will remove all the previous outcomes, clear that, and put us back up at 26%. And from here, we should be able to sail into completion of the bill with a minimum of difficulties. Or at least I'm hoping that that's how it goes. We'll see. We'll see how that shakes out. So right now we're having a problem, which is that our fertilizer is very cheap. And that means that our chemical plants are having a hard time staying maximally employed because there's nowhere they can sell fertilizer, the primary thing they produce. Why are you having trouble hiring? Yeah, wages too low. That's why. I don't know. Qualifications used to be a numerical thing. Now it's a percentile thing, so I don't know how much increasing universities would actually help with that situation. But we'll see. We're basically getting finished with our extra railways and our logging camps, so we'll be back to increasing the size of the government pretty shortly. The price of paper is holding and pretty low, so I am pleased with that overall. We do have one level of arts academies, which I guess works because we got one one set of pops purchasing art, and that's probably those upper stratum pops there. Standard of living has steadily kind of declined a little bit here, but stall results. Dang. It's okay. We're still at 11%. I'm really hoping we can get there. I'm not going to increase the amount of explosives used in our sulfur mines because I don't need to. Okay. Relations to us and Dynam are still neutral, so I'm not worried about any of that business. Let's see. If we go for another make vassal play, Italy is still going to be involved, but Italy is... We're doing better with Italy than we have done in the past. So I'm hoping that continues. Spain, can I improve relations with you? We're amicable. Portugal? Let's improve relations with Portugal. Our relations with Portugal are quite bad. Well, that's a shame. We'll get that going now. As you can see, as these economies continue to grow, our income from diplomatic pacts continues to go up. And that is an important part of why securing yourself a small colonial empire is very beneficial in the medium term. So we're currently working on the round of government admin in Kanto province. There's psychiatry. I wish the all the way over on the right side of the tree technologies felt more meaningful, because it currently doesn't feel like they're worth much of anything. All right, what do we have spreading? Central banking. Wonderful. That's actually a really good technology to have spreading to us, because central banking's got a lot of the stuff we need. In particular, it unlocks the take on debt diplomatic action, as well as the bankroll diplomatic action, and it increases our minting, which is really, really nice. That's stuff that you use a lot more in multiplayer runs and runs where you're doing more sort of financial diplomacy, I guess is the way. But there are definitely ways you can use it in a run like this. I have to say, Dutch East Indies... Oh, your army is pretty strong, actually. No. I keep going like, well, I'm sure it would be nice if I could go to war with the Dutch East Indies. But no, if I could get scrappy with them. But the truth is, I don't need to get scrappy with them, and they're pretty strong. Great Britain and France are rivaling one another. Both of them feel generally happy towards me. Great Britain, what could you possibly have to worry about with little old Japan? Oh, stalled again. Gosh. Alright, well that's not great, but hopefully we won't get 2 stall results in a row like we've been doing. Hopefully we'll see more debate on this topic. Or maybe one of the stall events will just be a stall event that we can get a little bit of enactment chance out of by, I don't know, sacrificing something, I guess. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So we should be getting the legislative failure event pretty soon. Population's going up, but only by a little bit. I don't know to what extent these increase. Yep, there's legislative failures again. Sponsor complete rewrite. That puts us at 2 setbacks. You know, I wasn't nervous about this before, but now we're at 2 setbacks, and I'm kind of nervous about it. Still, 26% chance of success. I'm really hoping we can get that knocked out. We're rapidly approaching the break-even point, at least statistically, since the last time we got a success. And the last time we got a success was pretty fortuitous, in my humble opinion. Yeah, we're still effectively building the bureaucratic apparatus that we require. And as you can see, our total amount of unrealized taxes has gone down significantly over the past couple of years as we've continued to build up our government machine. So we'll hopefully continue to make that happen. Actually... Oh god, I can't get improved fertilizer until tier 3. Ugh. Okay, that's gonna be a real headache. I might need to do a university expansion. Yeah. I think we're due for a university expansion. That's going to give us additional tech spread, which is going to be very beneficial for us in the long term. But we're going to finish our current round of government increases beforehand, and we'll intersperse the railways that we want for the Kansai government expansion in the middle of that to make sure that they're ready to go. Come on, Tenant Farmers, let's do it. Give me Tenant Farmers. I swear, if you give me a setback event, I'm gonna be pissed! I'm gonna be so mad! I'm gonna be so mad! Hey, there's Tenant Farmers. Wonderful. That is excellent. That is exactly what we needed. It's given us some extra loyalists, which is always nice to have. So, now do I boot the industrialists out of the government? I think I... Oh, the temptation is extremely high. If we can the Shogunate significantly now, can I form a government with the industrialists and somebody else? No. No, I cannot. Which is a shame, but it is what it is. Mostly you form it with the intelligentsia, but I don't want them to be strong enough to do anything. There's triage completed. We've still got plenty of techs in the tech queue. Okay. So, we'll flip over to first aid. It's going to cost us some money. Oh, what? 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 Why did... Our... What? That's wild. Our financial situation went really sideways. And I'm not sure why. So we just changed over in all of our subsistence farms and all of our subsistence agriculture from serfdom to free peasants. So what does serfdom do? Serfdom increases grain output. And free peasants plus 4 subsistence output. Okay, so a lot of... So this reduces grain output, but increases the subsistence output of a bunch of other stuff. Well, that's really odd. I'm not rightly sure... Hold on. I can use these. Hold up. We can find out together how this happened. So, let's take a look at this. Did revenue go down? Not really. Expenses went up. Why? Government buildings, that's been going up. Government wages took a step up just now. That's really interesting. Goods for military buildings went way up. Why would goods for military buildings go up? A bunch of this stuff went up in price. Like, we did start buying liquor. Oh, you know what I can do to help with that? Put on pot stills. Throw a bunch more liquor into the economy. So that should help with things. Military wages went up. Subsidies went way up, but not in an amount that should have affected anything. Construction goods? No. So a bunch of things went up in price. So it was mostly goods for... So it was mostly government wages, goods for military buildings, and military wages. And again, subsidies went up by a lot proportionally, but that's nothing in terms of the overall amount. That's only 1.6k. That's very odd. Alright, well, I think we can tolerate a higher... I think we can tolerate this for now. We'll see if it dials back. Okay, intelligentsia are now a functional interest group once again. Alright. I may need to boot the Industrialists out of the government later on, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. For now, though, it's been a very successful episode, even though it was a little hair-raising. Yeah, and hopefully we'll get on towards a little bit more military adventurism as we get going forward. But for now, I've had fun. I hope you all have had fun, and I will see you all on the other side.